Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral HouseCalls, our weekend edition of the Cabral concept, where we answer your questions, our community's questions, every Saturday and every Sunday. I hope you've been tuning in the past. If you haven't, you can always go back to stephencabral.com/podcasts and go check out all the previous shows where we've answered thousands upon thousands of questions from our community, and I look forward to doing the same today. All the questions are based on wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, health coaching, exercise, you name it, anything to do with our health, mind, and body. We love tackling those topics. And of course, if I ever don't have a particular insight or experience or answer to your question, I will refer you to where to find that answer. So I just want to be of service in some way. I think that by doing these house calls, I get to share with you 20 plus years of experience, over 250,000 private client appointments, and everything that we've learned through those trials. So let's get started. Today is episode 1695. If you want to follow along, simply go to stephencabral.com/1695, and you can read all of the questions here today from our community. All right, the first question is from Mo. Mo's question came in on August 27th. So if I'm looking at my giant document here, it looks like we are now only about 4 weeks behind. So that's the best that we've ever done. We're caught up now to 4 weeks. So that's pretty great. It's usually around 6 to 8 weeks. So just keep in mind, if you wrote in before August 27th, most likely then your question's already been answered. All right. So Mo's up. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Mo here again. I just want to start by telling you that I do not think you have any clue how much of an impact you have made in my immediate family in the world. You are one of my idols, and I'm so grateful for having been introduced to you. Thank you for all you do. It is truly needed in the world, especially these days. Thank you, Mo. I just want to stop and say, every time someone writes in and they share a success story or they share kind words like Mo just did, it really means a lot to me. This is certainly a labor of love, trying to bring you content on a daily basis. It's something that I love doing, and it's always nice to hear that it is helping some people out there. So thank you, Mo. I appreciate you. And Mo's question is this. This is something that has been confusing me for nearly a decade, and no one has been able to give me a proper answer. I've used multiple smartwatches to calculate my BMR, which is basal metabolic rate for everyone out there, and have counted my macros numerous times of my life and seem to understand how this works for my body. I'm 6'3", 185 to 190, typically around 4 to 8% body fat, pitta vata, do 3 days a week full body interval training, 2 days light cardio. I average about 3,800 calories burned on light days and 4,500 on full body training days, and can't seem to eat more than 2,500 calories unless I do a cheat or flex meal. How is that my body can burn more calories nearly every single day of the week than it takes in, and I'm not catabolic? I feel completely amazing, especially since following a lot of your protocols and daily routines. I'm not trying to put on muscle or get any bigger, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Thank you, Mo. All right, so let's answer this question. First, I need to understand it better. Let me see this. You're 6'3", 185, 190. You're 4 to 8% body fat. So it obviously seems like you're doing well, if not teetering a little bit on catabolic. So you said you're not teetering on catabolic, yet you are, because you're 4 to 8% body fat. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but certainly anybody that's single-digit body fat is teetering then on catabolic because there's just not a lot of reserves there. Your body's constantly burning through instead of building back up. So you do 3 days a week of interval training, 2 days of light cardio, and you average about 3,800 calories burned on light days and 45 on full body training days. Okay, so you're burning an extra 700 calories on full body training days. Yeah, that very well might be possible. I think the stats might be a bit skewed. For you to burn 4,500 calories in a day in terms of your resting metabolic rate and then your activity level seems very high. Very high. Now, it's certainly possible. There's no doubt about that. But you also don't weigh that much. I mean, 185 to 190 is not like you weigh 230 pounds, where that might be a little bit more normal. I know you're a Pitta Vata, but the calculators don't really take that into consideration, your body type. They're looking at age and your activity. And for you, listen, I get it. You must be walking around a lot too. You must be getting 12,000 steps, because if not, you're not burning more than 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day. I can tell you that for sure, unless you're also very active besides your exercise. So let's get right down to it. Basically, you're eating 2,500 calories a day, and you're burning at least 1,000 calories more, if not 2,000 calories more. And how are you not losing more muscle, all of these different things? Well, there is an answer to that, and I just want you to know that. Now, your body is still at its set point. So meaning that your body, because it knows how active you are, is still producing the proper amount of hormones to keep your body at that, meaning testosterone, DHEA, regulated amounts of cortisol, proper amounts of thyroid. Your blood sugar is probably pretty balanced. Hopefully you're getting enough sleep. That's what it seems like. And the other thing is that your body's increasing protein synthesis so that every calorie that you do eat is being used to a greater degree. There's certainly not surplus, right? So your body's not putting on any body fat, not at 4 or 8%. So, but the truth is your body is in a catabolic state. You won't be able to do this forever. I don't know how old you are, but certainly when you're 55 years old, 60 years old, it's just not going to happen. Cortisol and dopamine, and it sounds like you're a hard charger type of person. That's pushing you through in terms of energy and get up and go. But I would be careful eating only 2,500 calories. And also, I don't know, you can't eat more than 2,500 calories unless you do a cheat meal, flex meal. I don't understand why you're not able to eat more than 2,500 calories a day. I would look at digestive-based issues. I really would. Because, you just, again, 4 tablespoons of fat at a meal is 500 calories. So it's, I think there's more to this equation. I can't kind of keep going on now because I've been chatting about this for now 5 minutes or so. But there's something missing. There's a digestive issue component potentially where you're getting full too soon, and if you're burning 3,500 calories a day, why not eat 3,500 calories a day? You're already at single-digit body fat. Your weight's not going to change. You're going to be at your kind of homeostatic point. So that's what I would look at. Hopefully that was helpful, Mo. I apologize. I don't think I truly understood the full question. I'm Imogen. IMOGEN. Hi there. Thank you for everything that you do. I'm currently reading your book, The Rain Barrel Effect, and I'm learning so much. What is your opinion on camel's milk? I searched it up on your podcast, but there were no results. Would it be similar to goat's milk, or would you avoid it like cow's dairy? I never tried it, though, so just not sure what it tastes like. All right. So, you know what? Here's the thing. I have tried camel's milk. Do I have access to it? No. Have I tried it a lot? No. Have I used it as a supplement? No. But here's the thing. I'm doing more and more research on camel's milk. And do I think it's going to be a panacea for all sorts of different things? No, I don't. But there's something to it. And they're actually using it in mice studies right now that I've researched. It's obviously been used in the Middle East as a food for many, many years. And I can tell you this, it's lower in saturated fat, cholesterol. I know it's lower in lactose, excuse me, and it's higher in vitamins like vitamin C, Bs, and it has some anti-inflammatory properties. So that's why I'm looking into it. A little sip of water here. But I want to share with you this. So similar taste, not dissimilar to cow's milk, I would say. Definitely, has that creamy consistency. But and healthier than cow's milk. I don't think there's too much unhealthier than cow's milk to be truthful. Now, to be fair, if you were drinking, certain type of cow, their milk, raw, I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to draw straws here. I think you'd be better off. I just think that most people are better served with goat or sheep-based milk if they really want some type of milk or cheese. And they should run a food sensitivity test first. We don't have camel milk on our food sensitivity test, but it is worth looking into. Do I think anybody needs to drink camel's milk? I do not. Will I follow up on a Friday review with more research on camel's milk? I will, but I haven't done my full research on it yet. So, and because I really look at it from both sides, people have to understand when I do my research, I look at all the negatives. And then I try to all the positives, and the positives do have to be backed by, thousands of years of anecdotal is good too, but also science-based research as well. So What I would say is this. I think there's promise to it, but I think it needs to be raw like it does for the benefits of most other types of milk. So Imogen, hopefully that helped. James is up next. Hi, Mentor Cabral. I have messaged you a few times during my bodybuilding bulk and cut. Thanks for your previous advice. I'm currently in the cutting phase, and my question is, once I come out of my cutting phase, I obviously want to retain all the muscle I have built for as long as possible, basically the remainder of my life. My predicament, though, is that I do not want to constantly worry about if I have consumed 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight, and I don't worry about eating at maintenance every day. Will my body adjust to this newfound muscle, and will I retain my muscle naturally just through regular strength training and just eating intuitively? Or will I still have to make sure that I'm eating at maintenance and getting lots of protein? I'll be around 200 pounds at the end of my cut, so it's quite a lot of protein and calories I need to maintain, and I would rather just eat how I feel. Obviously, I cannot starve myself or eat 30 grams of protein and expect to retain my muscle. I built up this year, but I just wondered if you had any tips on how to retain my muscle without being so concerned about my calories and macronutrient ratios. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to help you with this, James. Thank you for writing in. Enjoy when people call me a teacher, a mentor. I kind of feel more comfortable in that regard. I look at mentors and I just, I love what they've done. I've always just wanted to simply be a teacher for people as well. I went through this as well, James. I got to 200 pounds when I was doing my bulk, put on as much muscle as possible, and then I wanted to drop down somewhere around 8% body fat. And so I said, well, how am I going to do this? And there's tried and true way to do that. Now, the problem is that I've done it multiple times. I've done it wrong multiple times. I went back to just, the regular eating and I lost a lot of muscle. I also got away from heavy lifting and then I lost a lot of muscle. So, because you have to understand is my body type is not, a kapha pitta or a pitta kapha body type, right? So I'm not going to retain as much muscle. So I had to do things specifically in order to have that much muscle in my body. Keep in mind that muscle is about 70% water. So the best thing that you could do, the happy medium, is this. Develop a food regimen that works for you. Most people eat the same way pretty much every single day, right? So if you need, let's just say you're getting 120 grams of protein per day. All right. Now, again, my protein was ridiculous when I got to that size. I don't want to even talk about that on the podcast here. That was not health-based, right? I was doing it because I wanted to look a certain way, not necessarily health-based. But let's say it's at 120, and let's say you're doing 4 meals a day instead of 3. All right, well, that's easy enough, right? We can just say 30 grams of protein per meal times 4 meals. So, that's, again, straightforward. And then you'll want to make sure you get enough fat, and then you'll adjust your carbs based on your body fat percentage. So again, this is pretty straightforward bodybuilding stuff. But one of the ways that I've always seen it work really well is to increase your light cardio and not drop your calories. So I was actually able to get quite lean but maintain the fullness of my muscles by increasing my cardio, aerobic-based cardio, believe it or not, and that enabled me to keep my food up, which kept my muscles more full. So that worked really well for me, and it works well for a lot of lean bodybuilders, meaning like bodybuilders that are more hard gainers have trouble putting on size. So that's always worked really well for me. And then, of course, I just adjusted my starchy carbs, mainly at dinner and after dinner, as I used to eat 6-7 meals a day. I would drink a shake right before bed, like, again, not healthy stuff. And that really worked. So that's what I would do. But no, if you're more of a Vata-based body type, you can't go back to dropping down your protein and carbs, and you can't drop your heavy training because you will lose muscle. So the thing is, I did that, but I chose to do it, right? So I weigh about 167 pounds or so now. That's about 30 pounds away from where I was when I was at my biggest. But I maintain close to single-digit body fat now. I feel light. I feel lean. I feel fast. I'm able to do my workouts. I'm able to run. I'm able to play soccer in the backyard with my girls. It's not difficult for me to walk up a flight of stairs like it used to be. So there's pros and cons. No, I'm not as big, but I'm okay with that. So it's just. But in my 20s, I wanted to have, 17, 18-inch arms. And that was just what I wanted. So we all go through phases in life, and it's all good. Every phase is good. You can learn from it and then you move on. And I've decided that I'm good with where I am right now. I'm happy. So that's what matters. All right. Thank you for writing in. Sam's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I take the daily foundational protocol level 3, but I've also added some Triphala. Do you think this is a bad idea to take Triphala every day? Well, for those people, thank you, Sam, for writing. And those people who don't know what Triphala is one of the most prized formulations in Ayurvedic medicine. And that is because it is, well, I'll get to the antioxidant in a second. It's great for digestion. It acts as a prebiotic for good bacteria in the gut. It acts as a gentle, mild laxative. It does not cause diarrhea. It just keeps things moving in the gut and has very powerful antioxidant properties, longevity antioxidant properties. So, and they're studying it for many, many other, again, this is actually, it's been studied now in medicinal, for modern science. But what I would share with you is this, is that the only time I would say you might not want to use it is on the CBO protocol or where you're trying to remove excess bacteria or yeast overgrowth, etc., because Triphala is a great prebiotic, right? It's why we remove honey as well. No, honey's bad. It's just like at the certain 12-week phase where you're doing it, you may want to remove it. Believe it or not, we actually have Triphala in our FM detox as part of the equilibrium detox. And why would it be in there? Well, it also works as a detoxifying agent. So it's a pretty remarkable formula. It stands for 3 fruits. So in Ayurveda, Triphala is 3 fruits, and it's the amalaki, which is, the amla, one of the, it's amazing, it really is. So when I was over there, I could pick fresh amla. It was pretty amazing. I was over at the right time of the year for the season. Bibiteki and harataki are the 3 types of fruit, all included inside of the Triphala, and they can actually all be used individually, some for cholesterol, some for anti-aging, some for this, some for that, but really Triphala is how it's meant to be used as the one formula. It's great to take on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, but you can also take 2 to 3 capsules after each meal if you need to for constipation, other issues like that. So many different uses for it, and I'm a fan. So hopefully that helps, Sam, and yes, you can take it every day if you choose to. Bettina is up next. Dear Stephen Cabral, thank you for your great podcast and for sharing all of your knowledge. I truly appreciate it. Thanks, Bettina. I'm going to take a sip of water. I have a question regarding smoothies with frozen berries. The Danish Veterinary and Food Administration advice that all frozen berries should be cooked, I think it's supposed to be should be cooked, are at a high heat for 1 minute before consuming. This is because of a possible link between hepatitis A and frozen berries. I drink smoothies every day with frozen berries, so I would love to know your thoughts on this. Best regards, Bettina. All right. So, on the podcast, we can't provide medical advice. We can't diagnose anyone. We can't treat anyone. We can't cure anything, right? That's FDA regulation. So we're playing by the rules. So I can't give you medical advice on this. Understood. It is possible, although I don't know if there have been any cases yet, but it is possible that berries are contaminated with, I believe, feces. It could be. And then you could get hepatitis A. So there is that possibility, right? So they're saying, well, if you cook at a high heat berries for 1 minute, well, then that would kill the hepatitis A virus. And so I would say, well, that's true because freezing it does not kill it. Do I do that? I personally do not do that. I don't. I just make berries for my frozen berries for my family because I also want the benefits of the raw berries. But I understand that if you would, and I don't think it's bad. I did a podcast on fresh versus frozen versus cooked produce. I hope that you go back, you listen to that show, you'll understand that there's actually benefits to all of them. I prefer to keep mine frozen. That's what I do. I buy organic fruit. I hope that it's a little cleaner. I buy wild berries. I hope that it's cleaner. And that's what I do. There's a lot to be worried about in the world, and that is one that I'm not bringing into my world as a concern. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't, okay? So hopefully that was helpful. Larissa's up next. Hi, Dr. Brawl. I'm an IHP and so grateful for all of your guidance and everything you do for the community. I have a couple of questions. What are your thoughts on taurine? Do you feel this is something that vegans should supplement with after fine-tuning foundational things after using data from the Big 5 labs? What are your thoughts on magnesium threonate compared to other forms of magnesium? Many people feel this is an exceptional form for people with anxiety and depression because it can more easily cross the blood-brain barrier. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom and experience. All right. Thank you, Larissa, for writing in. Okay. You have 2 questions in there. Taurine. Do I think it's important for vegans? Well, I think it's important for everyone, but I don't know that I would supplement it individually because I don't. Like, my dog is on taurine right now. A lot of you know that my dog ended up getting heavy metal poisoning, unbeknownst to us. And so we have him on his own dog detox, believe it or not. So it's unfortunate, but the food he was eating, which is a good quality food, I've maintained the anonymity of this company, but it's a known issue, which we are now going to be talking more about on the show in the future. I'll be bringing on people talking about this, but he is using milk thistle, silymarin, and he's using taurine to open up those detox pathways. Those are great things. We include those, by the way, in our Equilibrium Nutrition Detox, so people get it every 12 weeks, and you're getting it in some of your foods as well. Do I think that you need to add it on a daily basis? I don't, unless you're someone dealing with cholesterol issues, potentially from heavy metals, or you're needing to detox to a greater degree. But then again, you can make the argument then for, other things as well, right? Like selenium and zinc, and you can make the argument for sulforaphane, which is one of my favorites. So no, I don't think that needs to be singled out unless you have a specific condition that would warrant using specifically taurine, which could be anywhere then from 500 milligrams to about 2 grams or so per day. Okay, now the questions on magnesium threonate. Well, I've experimented with magnesium threonate. There seems to be some pretty good research. I believe magnesium threonate was actually developed in a lab about a mile down the street from me at MIT, Mass Institute of Technology, to better pass the blood-brain barrier. So I've been using in my practice for many years the full spectrum magnesium, which is 3 forms of magnesium. We've got the lysate, the glycinate, and the chelated base forms of it. And I've gotten great results with that because people process magnesium differently in their body, and also different chelated forms of magnesium do different things to the body. For energy, the last one in there was malate, which is great for energy in the Krebs cycle, great for the mitochondria. And then we've got glycinate, which we know is great for the absorption and for the nervous system. And I use it with people. Again, we're not treating any disease, but they come in with anxiety and all that. I've gotten great results with it. I've experimented with some threonate. It hasn't been the product for me. I just haven't seen a need for it. But if you're someone that wants to use it, I see no reason not to. Like, I don't think it's a bad product at all. So what I would say is, use the full spectrum magnesium. Use that for 6 to 12 weeks. Really got to give it, 8 to 12 weeks. Let it sink in. Find an exact dosage that works for you. A lot of people find the 300 to 600 milligrams at a good dosage. Most of it taken the second half of the day because it kind of calms the nervous system. Definitely, at dinner time. And then use the same dosage, if you'd like, of a threonate, magnesium threonate, and see if you get the same results or better results. And so I think in that way, that type of individual variable experiential difference is good for individuals. You just can only change that one variable, which would be the form of magnesium. So that was a great question, Larissa. Again, I haven't seen the need in my practice. It doesn't mean that other people can't benefit greatly from it. I always keep an open mind. And there is research showing that it helps to pass that blood-brain barrier. But again, so do a lot of the other ones, right? It's like magnesium, carbonate, no, not as much. What's that used for? Well, it's used for it's used for an alkaline-based substance, like an alkalizing vitamin C. So there's all different ways to use these products. And I would say simply find the one that works best for you. That's what orthomolecular medicine is all about. Find the right product, find the right dosage, and you'll get results from it. So thank you, everyone, for writing in today. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for all of your shares. Your likes, your subscribes, it means the world to me. It helps us spread the mission that much more. And of course, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve.